The student wants to make and support a generalization about orbits of comets. Okay, so we have seen this question before. Make and support a generalization. Okay, about what? The orbit of comet. Okay, so let's look at the line 1. Astronomers estimate that the number of comets orbiting the sun is in billions. That's a lot. Okay, but there's a lot of comets orbiting the sun. That's the point of the first sentence. Next sentence, 81P Wild is one of many comets whose orbit has changed over time. Okay, so now we talk about the orbit of comets, specifically 81P Wild, how its orbit has changed over time. That's important. 81P Wild's orbit once lay between. Okay, so the next one is more specific. Alright, yeah. The next one is more specific about how the orbit changed over time. So it's an elaboration of line 2. So 81P Wild's orbit once lay between. Yeah, so this was before and this is after or now. The comet's orbit is now positioned between the orbits of Jupiter and Mars. So what was once between, or this specific comet was in the orbit between Uranus and Jupiter. Now it's in between Jupiter and Mars. Okay, so we want to say that in general, these orbits that goes around the sun do change the orbit over time. So we need to talk about that, their change. And they want us to support that, which means that we also need to mention the 81P Wild. So choice A, astronomers estimate that the number of comets orbiting the sun is in the billions. The comet's orbits may change over time. Okay, so it does talk about, or it does make the generalization, but it doesn't talk about any support. Where's the example? What's the supporting evidence? Nothing. They should have mentioned, or choice A should have mentioned 81P Wild. So A is out. B, like Uranus, Jupiter and Mars, billions of comets orbit the sun. Okay, that only talk about the no, actually it doesn't even talk about the orbits of the comet generalization, or nor does it support. Okay, it only talk about there are billions of comets orbit the sun, like in line 1, but nothing about making or supporting generalization about the orbits of comets. So B is out. Choice C, one example of comet is the 81P Wild. So they give us the example here, but whose orbit around the sun once lay between the Uranus. Okay, everything about detail, but nothing about making generalization. So C is out. Choice D, a comet's orbit around the sun may change over time. So that does talk about the generalization. That, okay, this would be number 1. That the comet have orbits. Comet's orbit change over time. And then now we get into very specific detail of 81P Wild to back up our statement. So choice D is correct answer.